Hi, Andy. Welcome to the warm and sunny South.
Hey, thanks, Mike.
Hey, let's answer some questions we've been getting on this partnership and let people have a better understanding.
Sure.
The first question I hear is, why? Why is Sabian partnering with Crescent, Crescent partnering with Sabian? And I want to take the first stab as to why.
Yep.
I've been doing business in Turkey for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can tell you from experience that it's a highly volatile business environment.
Sure.
We'll just kind of leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
That eventually when an opportunity comes to partner with a substantial manufacturer with a great legacy who've been making hand-hammered cymbals for decades and have it all happen right here in North America,
Mm-hmm.
I'm down, I'm in. And I'm just thrilled to have the opportunity to partner with you guys for that.
Ah, thank you. From our perspective, it was that our family has been making hand-hammered cymbals for centuries. And back in the early 70s, we had some folks come over from our family who were in Turkey and teach us how to hand hammer in Canada. And at our factory, we still have people who have learned directly from Karape, who was the family, I can't say scion, but he was definitely the leader of the people over in Turkey. And we learned from him. We know how to make very good hand-hammered cymbals.
You sure do.
The opportunity to be able to work with somebody who has an audience for that, you, Crescent, and do that with no volatility.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Fantastic to me as well. And I've even asked the master cymbalsmiths in Istanbul, what is the relevance of the location?
Well,
With knowing they have the Turkish pride and a decided history that they're proud of, they would even tell me, we make these cymbals anywhere. It's not about the location they're made, it's the process of how they're made.
that's quite true. I mean, like I said, we learned how to do it from people from Turkey, and we're doing the exact same type of product in Canada, in North America, and there makes no difference as to where, it's how. If you do it correctly, if you use hand hammering techniques, if you use the right shape, use the right hammer pattern, if you use the right peen, that's very important. If you use actually the right type of metal in the hammer, it makes a difference.
Really?
Yep. And we've learned those over years, and the opportunity to be able to make something different from what we've been doing, your type of sounds, your type of shapes, well, we jumped at that, definitely.
Well, thank you. I think we got something going here.
Yeah, I do too.
Cool.
And another question we've gotten is, are the Sabians and Crescents the same, and are people just buying a Cresabian when they buy a Crescent? And I can say, definitely not. You came up with your own designs, your own sounds, specifications, and although we have the techniques and the ability to make those, they're different from what we're making. And we're actually learning quite a bit from your ideas.
Well, thank you. What would be the point, right?
Right.
We don't need to make Sabian cymbals. Sabian does a very good job of that all by themselves.
Yeah, thanks.
And we started with an idea of a sound palette.
Yeah.
The reason we make them by hand is not because we think that's the only way to make a decent cymbal. It's because that's the way you make our cymbals.
Right.
That's the way you get that sound. And so it's entirely possible and likely, and is the fact, that a Sabian cymbal will not be a Crescent cymbal.
And we try very hard. Well, Mark Love, being the person who does our R&D up in Canada, and he's our cymbal guru, he and I have discussed how we keep a separation between the two cymbals, between what we make and what Crescent asks for, what you ask for. And we are very cognizant of keeping that separation. So,
well, when Mark and I were working on the Element series,
Yep.
I had the privilege of working with him over many months on this new series. We were cognizant of that too. This is what I'm looking for, Mark. You tell me if this steps on any Sabian toes, because if you're making this, we don't want to.
right.
To that end, I've always said when I go to the trade shows and I walk around and look at everybody's booths,
Yeah.
like we all do,
Yep.
I'm not looking to copy them. I'm looking what not to do.
Well, you're different from most cymbal companies.
I
I
hope
can
so.
say that because, boy, have we been copied. Oh, man. have
So
been
we,
copied.
yeah, so we.
But, you know, and having the artisans that we have up in Canada, it's simple for them to understand the difference between the two types. Not only in the hammering, those guys understand that you have different type of patterns for what you're looking for and different type of patterns for what we do, but also in the lathing. And lathing by hand with professionals, guys who have made over 1 million cymbals, makes a big difference on being able to keep that separation very clear.
I've tried to lay the cymbal, and if you don't know what you're doing, and I don't,
Yeah.
I know what the sound is, but I don't pretend to know how to lay the cymbal. To your point exactly.
You ever tried to hand hammer one?
Hurts my hand.
Yee, it hurts the cymbal too.
I haven't made anything that sounded any good by doing that. We leave that to the guys who really know what they're doing.
Yeah, the experts.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, that ought to clear that one up.
I hope.
Well, we have a chance here to explain what we mean by a Turkish cymbal or a Turkish sound. I have some pretty good thoughts on that, but I'm going to defer
Sure.
to someone better qualified.
Well, in the most basic sense, there are two different types of cymbals to be made. One is the Chinese type cymbal, and that was made, Chinese cymbals were made for the Eastern scale, which is a completely different scale from the Western scale. Turkish cymbals were made within that Western scale, used not only for the original marching bands, but also for symphonic sound. It's what we've all become very used to in all types of music.
Western music.
As Western, you're right, Western music, that beautiful sound, that really nice full range sound. But that's just the generality. To get right down to it, the Turkish sound really comes down to a full range of sound that comes out of the cymbal. The cymbal itself being able to vibrate and give you the richness of its whole body, which doesn't happen with some of the more modern cymbals. They can't give you that full range because the metal on the inside, it's not homogeneous. It can't vibrate freely. So you actually have a grain inside it, and the sound does not travel back and forth well. Hammering the cymbal, you can either do it with automatic hammer, which gives you a really nice, beautiful curved bow, which is a very clean sound, or you can use hand hammering, which, done correctly, which we do, done correctly, gives you more of a deeper tone. It has a nice flatter type sound, flatter cymbal, so you get more of a depth, a richer tone. And there's also a little bit of cacophony thrown in, because you're not hammering it in a precise way. You're hammering it in a way to get the tone, the sound, and the shape to be just right. And that is what we do in Canada, and that is the Turkish sound.
And that's exactly what we're looking for. Jeff Hamilton likes to talk about that wash,
Right.
that complicated nature.
Better word.
The music sits on top of that, and it warms up the mids.
Yep.
And that's a certain ideal of what we're looking for. There are other ways. If you want something that's bright and piercing and penetrating, will cut through a stack of Marshalls, there's stuff out there for you.
Sure.
But that's not what we're looking for here. That's not what the Turkish sound is about, to my way of thinking.
Right. I agree. Richer, deeper tones.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. One of the big changes I can see already, Andy,
Yep.
is after working with Mark Love for all these months to come up with the new Elements series.
Sure.
When it was time to order them, we placed an order, and guess what? We received them at the right time, in the right quantities, with all of them sounding great.
That's kind of new for you, huh?
In 10 years, it's the first time it's ever happened.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many trade shows I went to without my stuff. How many dealers wanted things that I couldn't give them. How many artists patiently waited forever because I just couldn't get it to them.
Yeah.
Part of that volatility we talked about.
Sure. Yep.
So far you're batting 1,000.
Well, yeah, thanks. Well, yes, it's what we do. We manufacture cymbals. I've always liked the designs that you've come up with, and being able to make those was something that I'm pretty proud to be able to do. And knowing now that you're going to be able to have your warehouse, which is all set for even more cymbals to come in.
I'm ready.
Coming in at times when it's going to be available for people who want them. You're going to be able to get what they want on time.
Better for our customers, better for our dealers,
Yep.
better for my blood pressure.
Absolutely. And that opens up all types of other support that can go out there. People know that what they're going to get. They know they're going to get it on time, and they're going to like it.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Beautiful, man. Great start.
Well, hey, congratulations.
I want all of my great partners.
Yeah.
One of the questions I get is how we pick up from where we've been to get to where we're going and what the future holds. The first thing we're going to do, we've released the Element series. They're there now, a new creation from both of us, but we have all these models we've been making for years that we developed in Istanbul, and we're going to bring production of those to you with complete confidence that, if anything, they'll be better. So I'm delighted for that. And then, looking towards the future, I also know that we can work together easily, closely. We're in the same neck of the woods, globally speaking. I'm just very excited about what we're going to come up with.
Well, that, along with what we can bring, well, the part that we bring is the reliability and what that means to your brand and the brand promise. And to me, that makes us perfect synergy. So I'm looking forward to the future, man.
Me too. So you know what?
Stay tuned.